Welcome! In this learning lab, we are going to discuss the new features of PI WebParts 3.0. In specific, the new support for query strings. Query strings provide a way to parameterize an entire SharePoint WebPart page. What that allows us to do is to create a template that then we can modify or change the data on that template by passing parameters through a query string or through a portion of the URL that we are using to locate that page. So in essence, with this type of support, we'll be able to create one page that can serve as a template to display information for different units or different components that display similar type of data. So in the example that I want to show you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a template where I can monitor HVAC temperature and pressure. Let's say that I was an engineer that was over the HVAC units of several units or several buildings in my company, and my supervisor asked me to monitor and create this report where I can monitor the pressure and the temperature of all these different units. Well, I like to be able to create a quick page where I can simply just go ahead and change the data but have the same display for all of these HVAC units. If I open Internet Explorer on my SharePoint website, I can go to the lab site and to the shared documents library, where I'm going to create a new WebPart page. By clicking on Site Actions, I click on Create and I select WebPart page that I'm going to name WebParts 3.0, and I'm going to select the header footer 3 columns layout. This WebPart is going to be created in the Shared Documents library. I click on Create and I am taken to the page where I am ready to configure and add WebParts. On the left column, I click on Add WebPart, and from the list of WebParts, I'm going to scroll down to the section that contains the PI WebParts, and I'm going to select the PI Gauge WebPart. I click Add, and now I can see the PI Gauge coming up here in a minute. Once the PI Gauge is added to this WebPart, I can click on Edit in the title of the PI Gauge WebPart and select Modify Shared WebPart. That will open the configuration pane on the right, where I can select the data that I'm going to display in that PI Gauge. By clicking on the Connection button, I can select other connected WebParts to supply data to the PI Gauge, or the new feature here at the bottom, a query string parameter, which I'm going to call temperature. So the parameter is going to be named temperature, and I will be able to use that parameter up here on the URL to then pass the specific data point or PI tag that I want to display on the PI Gauge. That's all I need to do. I click OK, and if we want to see a demonstration of that, the way that works is all I have to do is use the ampersand, enter the name of the parameter, temperature, equals, and then the path to the tag point, starting with the PI server, in this case OSIsoft-trng, and the name of the tag point that I want to display here. I refresh. Oops, I did refresh. That was a mistake. Let me go ahead and do it again. Temperature. I want to go to the page, not refresh the already existing page. So name of the server, and now click enter, and I can see how I was able to pass in the URL the sinusoid tag through the temperature parameter, which is what is being displayed here. Now, that's not the only Pi WebPart that has that support. I can go ahead and add another WebPart. In this case, I scroll down to where the Pi WebParts are located, and I'm going to add a Pi trend. And I will do the same with the Pi trend. I will add a query string parameter by modifying this WebPart, clicking on connections, and entering a query string parameter which I will call pressure. Click OK, and now my page is modified to not only accept a parameter called temperature, but also one that is called pressure. So if I go to the end of this URL, ampersand pressure equals the path to the Pi server and the tag that I want to display, CDT158, click enter, and now I'm displaying those two parameters. Let me go ahead and just to make this web part nice, I'm going to add here another web part so that I know, let's see, a Pi graphic. Here it is. And I'm going to add a nice picture that I have by modifying the shared web part. I can browse to my picture of the HVAC, click OK, and exit the edit mode. And now this is the page that I quickly created. Now, what is the significance and importance of these parameters? Well, let me navigate to another page that I created, which is a solution to that exercise, which is called solution HVAC. In here I have the same gauge, I have the Pi trend, and I have my picture. Now this page is waiting for parameters for me to pass, both for the gauge and the Pi trend. And what I have done is created a report in Excel, which I can find under the labs folder, web clients, new features, HVAC monitoring. If you open that file, you will see that it contains a report of different units. I have 5 different units in this file. Each one of them is pointing to different data, and I have created a hyperlink using the different data that I will be passing this data to the web part. So what I have done here is I have in this string here my parameters, temperature with the proper path to the sinusoid Pi tag, and pressure with its own path to the, in this case, the same tag, but it can be a different one. This is where that data is being pulled from. You can see up here on this equation the concatenate. I am adding temperature to whatever is in this cell, and what that allows me to do is to quickly change the data reference in this cell, CDT158, and that updates my parameters. Now if I want to go ahead and sinusoid, leave what I had there before, sinusoid, in the next cell over, what I've done is created a hyperlink. You can also see the equation, and in this hyperlink I entered the location, the URL location of the template that I created, and I add now my string that has the parameters. The result of that is a hyperlink that I can click on, and it will take me to my template with the proper data being displayed. So any of these hyperlinks will take me to the same template, but with the data, the different data being displayed, the data for each one of the units that I am monitoring. So very quickly I created one page that I can pass parameters and display the data that I want from different units. I hope you enjoy this lab.